Good morning, friends. Today I am live in my Facebook with the continuation of the topic, as I have already told you the last day, Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Daffodil, it is the name of a flower. I have already told you yesterday. And I have also, yesterday I took, in my first class, I took up the concept of daffodils, the background of writing, the background of the composition by the poet William Wordsworth, and then in the second class I entered into the detail of the synopsis, of the poem. Now again, for recapping, I am telling you what a daffodil or what daffodils are. Daffodil is a flower. It was not so famous in its name or by its name. It became famous when the attention of the poet William Wordsworth fall on it. Where was they? They were in the wetland, under the wood, beside the lake of the countryside of England. Yesterday I told you the place, that it was the Lake District of England. The city or the township was Grasmere, the countryside was Woolsware, and the park was Gowborough Park. The bay, what is the bay? I have already told you. Bay is a small stream coming out of the main water flow. It's a bay. The bay is a small stream of water, a small stretch of water coming out of the main flow of water. Sometimes the lake is also equated to bay. In Glencoyne Bay, there is a woodland, and beneath the trees, the daffodils were discovered. Daffodils as a flower, it grows in the damp, muddy and wet place. In India, the term daffodil, the name daffodil has been given to a particular flower, and that flower is very well known to you. It is lily, that is Padma. The Padma in our country grows in white color or reddish color, but daffodil has the color, three types of color. Basically, it's a combination of two colors. One is white, and in the midst orange, or yellow in the midst, and in the midst orange. So these two type of variety of daffodils. The bulb, it comes out of the bulb like the onion. Bulb is, what is bulb? Bulb is a stem that grows underground, and that the tree comes out of that. And this bulb, leaves and the flower of daffodils are of great use for the purpose of medication. Medicines are prepared out of these. Clear? So that is regarding daffodil. Issue. How was it composed? It was composed in the year 1804. It was a very pensive, it was a very sad day for the poet. The poet was lying on his couch, on his bed, dissatisfied, feeling ill, mentally ill because of the doldrum of the city life. He wanted a solace. He talked to his sister Dorothy Wordsworth, and they went on having conversation with regards to their once visit in this place. Their once visit at the day when were they visited? They visited in the 15th of April 1802. They visited the countryside, the place I have already mentioned. Then Dorothy helped Dorothy helped William Wordsworth to recall their experiences in the countryside with the daffodil in a wetland place beside the lake. Now, that view, the view which they got 2 years back, suddenly came in his mind, in his inner eye, in his imagination. The beautiful picture which he gazed on that day, which he had gazed on that day, came in his mind, and his mind started spranging in joy. Sadness removed, pensive mood recovered. He took out the pen, pencil, or whatever be the paper, and he started composing the poem Daffodil. So that is the background of composition. So the event happened in this date, and composition was effected in 1804. The poem was published in 1807 in 2 volumes. Okay, but later on it was a revised volume published in the year in 1815. Now the poem is, come to the poem. The poem is of 4 stanzas. The 4th stanza, and each and every stanza contains 6 lines. Each and every stanza contains 6 lines. The first 4 line, which is known as quatrain, Quatrain. Quatrain. What is quatrain? Quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines. Quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines, and these 4 lines, first line and the third line have the same type of rhythmic state. Second line and the fourth line has the same type of rhythmic state. But the last 2 lines, that is the last 2 rhymes with each other. The last 2 lines, that 2 line is regarded as couplet. Couple, C-O-U-P-L-E, couple, you know, husband, wife, when the combination of 2. So couplet is a combination of 2 lines used in composed or written in some rhythmic form. Okay, so the last word composed, last words are tallied to the sound of the last 2 words basically equate to each other. So it is a poem of 4 stanzas, 6 lines, that is 24 lines. The first 2 line, first line and the third line rhymes. Second line and fourth line rhymes with each other, and the 5th and 6th rhyme. So the rhymic scheme is A B C C, A B C C, or A C C. So this is the more or less the structure of the poem. Now I am coming to the detailed explanation of the poem as per taking each and every stanza. Any book? Achha, you bring my book, that one, that, not that one, the poem book. Quick. So friends, thus we have got a beautiful poem by William Wordsworth, the Daffodil, and Daffodil is regarded as the anthem of English literature. This poem is categorized as the romantic poetry. What is romantic poetry? I will clear it later on, but I am giving a simple view that a romantic poetry is that which considers main nature and subjectivity, They are, as opposed to the objective, they are more concerned with mental aspects. They are more concerned with mental aspect of the human being. Now come to the analysis and discussion on the poem stanza wise. I wander lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Now, the term wandered. Wandered, what's the meaning of wandered? Wandered basically refers to moving here and there, to and fro, without any purpose. So it is an aimless movement. Why? The background says that the poet was wandering. Now I am coming to the basic explanation of the term wandering. Why has the poet used wandering? Why the poet has not used the term I was visiting, I was touring, I was in tour, or I was walking? Not that. Why? Wandering has got basically wandering has got some other purpose. I am letting you know. Wandering is an aimless movement. Why aimless? The poet was highly dissatisfied with the present state of environment of the township at that time, which is nothing but full of moist, which is nothing but full of smoke, the doldrum, and that made the city life and the town life a very, very unabsorbing, a very, very unacceptable. The confinement in the township developed a specific type of disease. Okay, and that I have already told you. It is a specific phobia. It is a specific phobia, and that phobia made the poet unstable in his mind. He could not understand what to do. Where should I go? What would be the solace? How would I go? How would I get the satisfaction? What would make me stable in my mind? चलो निकालो यार घर से निकल जाओ तो देखो इधर उधर घूम रहे थे सर. So no purpose is there, only but he was hunting for something that would solace his inner pain, that is solace his inner pain, and he was wandering. This part has been compared to the clouds. You see that what the clouds do? The clouds are floating. The clouds are floating in pieces, in the breeze, in the air. Okay, here and there. There is no rhythm. There may be some rhythm in no rhythm. Okay, there are rhythms in no rhythm. When you are very logical, some reason is there. But in spite of illogical, there will be a great amount of rhythm is there. But when you see the children, बच्चे लोग, when they behave illogically, irrationally, hectically, but there is beauty in their behavior. So in that way, the clouds are not, they are floating, they haphazardly, hectically, but still there is a beauty. And the poet was, I wandered lonely as a cloud. Lonely means single. But I have already told you that when in his tour, in his visit, in his trip to the countryside, his sister Dorothy was with him. But why the term lonely has been used? My view is that because Dorothy accompanied her. There was a physical presence of Dorothy with him. But Dorothy, a man cannot give you the mental support. But mentally he was alone, because the amount of pain which he had in his mind may not have in Dorothy. So he was alone in his thinking, he was alone in his state. That is why it is stated, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. If you go to the mountain range, you will see the clouds are floating, okay? And the poet was also roaming in that way. He was roaming here and there. He was not above the surface. He was on the surface. He was on the surface, but he was roaming aimlessly, wandering aimlessly to get a solace. Okay? That floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Well, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Very beautiful line over here. When all at once, there are two aspects. Everybody, whenever you will be reading, my friends, you must take care of this. Two things have been stated. When, all at once. When is a case, is a past, is the past, because the poet has already started wandering. Okay, that is the past. When, in the process of my wanderness, in the process of my aimless visit, on the process of my aimless going over here and there, in the process of my aimless movement, all at once. That is the present. All at once. The happening, his wandering, his movement was the past. But all at once, suddenly, all at once is a phrase meaning suddenly. Suddenly, I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Crowd, I think that you know what crowd is, an assemblage of huge number of persons. Host refers to a bunch of, a good presence of something in good magnitude, in a good number. So host. So I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Here is some personification, you see. The poet is compared the bunch of daffodils, bunch of daffodil trees as a crowd. So some inanimate aspect has been animated. Some non-living object was given some living comparison, some living state. So I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Here the assemblage of daffodil trees and flowers in a good number has been considered as the crowd. Crowd is a collection of an assemblage of association at a particular place of a good number of human beings. Here that daffodils are being personified. The inanimate object is being given the status of some human objects, some living object. A host of golden daffodils. Host basically has some meaning in a good magnitude, that is host. But here, my friends, here take care of this word, particularly host. It has been used in some another term. Host. Where did the man Mr. Wordsworth live? He used to live in the countryside. Where he has come? Sorry, not in the countryside. Sorry, he used to reside in the countryside. But where he has come? He has come in a place in the countryside. Now he is standing beside the wood, beside the woodland. Okay, beside the tree, beside the lake, and the poet considered that place. The place is the habitat. That place is the habitat of the daffodils. So daffodils are the owner or occupier of that place. And when someone is coming from the countryside, daffodil is welcoming him. Daffodils are welcoming him. So the man, whenever someone comes to your house, they are your guest, right? And the persons who attend them, who receives them, who welcomes them, and the person who welcomes them, they are regarded as the host. So the term host has been used over here in two forms. One, host refers to the magnitude. It refers to the huge magnitude, huge number of daffodils at a particular gathering. And again, alternatively, it is host because it has been again personified. They are considered as the host because they are welcoming the presence of these two visitors. Who are the visitors? William Wordsworth and Dorothy Wordsworth. So they are considered a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Beside the lake, I have already told you in the last occasion. So there is a lake, there is a bay. Glencoyne Bay. Bay, what I have already, I have just told you, bay is nothing but a stream of water. Small water that is coming out of the main flow of water. It may be river, it may be an ocean, okay, and it is also equated to lake. Clear? England, I think you know that there are presence of huge number of lakes in England, and that is why that part of England is known as a Lake District. Okay, Lake District. Fluttering. What is the meaning of fluttering? I have already stated over here. I think fluttering refers to flicking. Okay, flicking or moving with quick movement to and fro. Whenever the breeze is blowing, the flower plants are moving to and fro. Okay, and that is known as fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Then come to the I think you see that the first line cloud and the third line, the first line ends with cloud, third line ends with crowd. So D and D. So B, A and A. Then second line hills and fourth line daffodils, hills and daffodils. So B and B. And the last two lines trees and bridge, C and C. So it is established that the rhyming pattern used A, B, C, C. Clear? Then come to this. Next